Hello and welcome again. I'm going to be working on the lost facility some more here. Give a few minutes for people to join in. Take a look at some settings here, make sure everything's okay. We should be all good. Hopefully get some people to join in here. Take a look further into some landscapes. I think I'm gonna start to work on some of the cliffs that go over here. We'll see how it all plays out. Give it a few minutes for some people to join in, I suppose. And then we can dive in. I guess while we're waiting for people to join in, take a look at something that I forgot to do in the last video. So if you're watching this as a replay, the terrains here, if we take a look at them, they're a little bit kind of low poly-ish, not super detailed. So if I take a look here at this one, just want to go over how we can up that resolution just a little bit more. So if we look at our height fields that we import, they're really super detailed, right? So got quite a bit of detail just kind of everywhere. And then when we get to here, we lose a lot of that detail. So all we have to do to bring that detail back is come to the height field where we were doing the height field project. We drop this grid spacing down to something like 0.5. And it'll take a minute to calculate, but now you see that we get way more detail in our terrain here. So we'll take a look at this. Obviously it slows things down, but we're gonna be taking a look at that for setting up proxies and such. So we'll just set that back to 2 for now, just to bring that back to a more manageable resolution. But even if even if I set this to 0.5, let's actually just look at our terrain out here. Actually, take a look at the merge. So viewport's pretty responsive here, right? If we come in here and we drop this grid spacing down to 0.5, we let that kind of update here. Give it a moment to cook. There we go. And then we come to, let's see, I think it's this one. That's all we need to do. If we set this one to 0.5 as well, it'll take a minute to calculate, but we'll get a lot more detail in both terrains. Once it is done calculating, see our viewport slows down a little bit here. Give it a minute. There we go. So I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, but I can feel it being a little bit sluggish. But even if we come back to this is super responsive still, which is really interesting to see that we get that responsiveness here. I'm guessing that has to do with USD and how that all works with that. But it's kind of, I think it treats it more like a packed primitive in a sense, I don't know what the word I was looking for there. But yeah, I think it treats it more like a packed primitive. And that's why it's a little bit more responsive. But we'll go ahead and just drop that grid spacing back. We will have to look into that edge if you saw that there. If I bring that back to 0.5, we get this edge that is kind of like vertical. Not really sure why that's going on, but I'll look to correct that as we need. So let's go ahead and drop that back. But I think I'm gonna launch Gaia here, and we will kind of start to work with a cliff over here, or work on creating a cliff. Hopefully that didn't blow everyone's eardrums out. Let's see, come on. All right, and I think so. Let's just take a look at some of the other ones that did. So we have our canyon wall. I don't know. Did I set this up? Maybe I set this up. I may have already created one of these. Actually, I think I did. I think we set this up in the last stream. So we'll let this cook through. Yeah, so this is kind of what we came up with in the last stream, but I feel like I would rather just create another, I'm gonna open up a second instance, create another canyon, just a variation of the canyon that we worked with. And let's just open up our canyon. Let's see, canyon. So I think if we take that canyon, we can get some better results, or some results that are a little bit more, that match a little bit better to our terrain as it was. So we did have this texture, which I'm not sure that we're going to end up using. I don't think we're going to use that. But let's just take a look at this combine. So I like the idea of just having these canyon type walls. So I may just create a variation of this and just spit out this terrain, split it in half right down the middle. And then we can mix that into our terrains that we already have set up. So I think I'm just gonna roll with that. I may bring them both in and see which one I kind of like better. And then we'll go from there. Actually, you know what, let's just do that now. Did I export? I'm gonna open this up over here. I'm gonna take a look. I don't know if I exported out that terrain. Let's see, I did not. It's rock. Yeah, I did not. Oh yes, I did. Oh no, I didn't. I just exported out the. Did I? What is this? Oh no, those are the. Okay. Okay, no, we did not. Okay, so let's go back to this canyon wall here and Gaia, this first one, and let's just right click and mark this for export, and then we can build this out. So when I build out terrains from Gaia, I want EXRs. Let's call this canyon wall. I want it to be sRGB, that's fine, and then raw is the main thing that we want there. And then I like this specific one. It's gonna ask us if we want to preview or use the preview build, that's fine. So we've got that one. Let's go ahead and save out a separate file of this. Save as. And maybe we'll set this in here. Let's do a new folder. Canyon walls E2. Sure. Great naming convention. Let's do canyon, walls, v2. And then we can mix up some of these settings a little bit here. So let's go back to our canyon. I like the overall scale and everything here, so I'm just gonna mess with the seed to find something else that I like. And that's not actually too bad there. So run through these erosions. Let's see, we can mess with our seeds here. Let's see what this erosion gives us. Just give it a different seed. And I actually like that a little bit better. Our fractal here, we can just do a different seed on this as well. Doesn't matter too much. This is just masking out things. Fractal terraces gives us a little terracing there at the top. Our erosion, again, we'll just randomize the seed a little bit. I'm just trying to get a little bit of variation here, something just slightly different from what we had before. I don't have anything like matching 1-to-1. It's not a super big deal because it's such a different shape that it probably wouldn't matter too much. And then all I did was combine there. Okay. So then we can split this down the middle pretty much and get kind of what we're looking for. Or if we wanted to, we could even flatten out both sides, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. So let's just, did we already mark this for export in the other one? We did. I'm going to, I don't know, can I delete this export? So I no longer want that. Let's go ahead and canyon walls. Sure. sRGB, raw, and we'll just build that out. It should be good there. So let's hop back to Houdini here. And let's start over here. Let's do height field. Let's see. Height field file. Oh, nice. Welcome. CG record record. I don't know. Is it CG record or record? I don't know. I am familiar with your guys' stuff. Thanks for sharing the stream. Just kind of hanging out and building out some different stuff here. If you're not familiar with the project, it's just kind of an ongoing project that I started about a month ago, and just kind of working on a little environment. We did use Midjourney to create some stuff. Let's go ahead and pull up the reference. Where is that? Or the little inspiration stuff. I guess it's purif. Give me a moment. Yeah, so just kind of threw some stuff together in Midjourney just to give us some reference, just some different things. The desert environment, some different things. Ultimately, we're working towards some little biodome facility that is in the desert, like in some of the shapes and stuff that we got going on here. And then I've got some other stuff that we may look at later, depending on how far we take this. But it's kind of a little overall, quick overall of the project here. But let's go ahead and load in some of those projects, or some of those files we just created. So our terrains, desert landscapes. So let's go ahead and bring in that first one. Oops, there we go. Need to obviously adjust some things here. Let's Let's do 500 on the height. So I'm just worried that with this, we may not get stuff that matches too well, just because it's some different nodes and stuff that I use to generate this. So let's bring on our other height field that is the canyon that we'll just kind of split in half here. So let's take a look. Go up. Walls v2, builds, and then bring in that file. And again, adjust the scale. I don't know, 500 may be too much. Nope, that looks good actually. And we should be all set there. Let's go ahead and split this down the middle so we can do a group. I think we can do this inside of height fields. Oops, not template. All right, can we do this inside? I don't even remember. No, because it's all one. Oh, that sucks. Is there a height field like clip? There's a height field clip. But that's not what I want to do. Height field, or actually, can we just use, no, I don't want to do that because that's gonna, let's do a height field layer, I guess. Or what, did I did this over here, didn't I? I did this somewhere before. Or mask, I guess. We can just do a regular mask with this. So base terrain, and then height field. I may want to swap those inputs actually. Chef mask. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, and we'll go basically like right down the middle with this. This is why I say we may want to switch those. And we want that in the third input there. HF blur. And we're gonna blur this quite a bit. No, that's not the right one. Height field mask blur. There we are. And I may want to raise this a little bit actually. That's base scale, we run layer 1. Offset. Just looking to bring this just kind of in line with the center here. And actually, we're gonna go back into this mask, I think. Let's do height field clear mask. So we lose some of that detail. A little bit in there. So let's come back into our mask. Let's just delete that out, and we're gonna redraw this. And it's doing it live, which is awesome. We still got that little bit there. Let's go ahead, let's try that just fully again. There we go. I think we got a little better that time. All right. So let's see. Oops, I don't want string. I think we'll just stick with the blur. I think that should be good. So let's, I really don't know why I'm getting this I guess because of the edge. If I get rid of the mask, do I still have that? I don't remember. Oh wait, the mask is there for that. Okay. Yeah, we still have it with the mask, so that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why we're getting that all of a sudden. That little like error on the edge there. I guess with the lowered resolution, we don't have that, but when we up the resolution, I'm not sure how to get rid of that. Inside of Houdini, outside of field convert. I don't think, actually it does stay when we convert, doesn't it? So I have to blast that away. Ew. If anybody knows how to get rid of this this error off the top of their head, let me know. Otherwise, we will work with that at a later time. It's not going to matter too much. I guess we don't need to even worry about this right now, because we can just do, we're going to do things down here anyway. So let's go ahead and convert this, and then we'll group and delete after that. Group, and then group A stuff primitives is fine. Let's do a base bounding regions, and we want to set this to be pretty large. Actually, we'll just do 1,000 in every axis, and then we want to offset this. Is it this? Yeah, 500. Okay. So let's take this and move this out of the way. Oops. Take the group, and then we want to blast away that group. Not really worried about naming right now. We'll worry about that in a minute, because I'm just trying to test out the different looks here, what I'm gonna like. So we're gonna need a transform. Let's wire this in with this one in for now, and let's bring this over. Okay. So I guess 500 may be too large. Let's go with 300. Yeah, that's more in line with what we got. So let's take this and let's move this over. Let's actually pack this just to make it a little bit quicker to work with, maybe? Or not. Okay. I still have these set to super high resolution, so let's take this and, oh wait, we didn't convert this one. That's why. Okay. Oh, no, it's still being kind of slow. Let's do -90. This isn't really doing anything for us here. So let's take this high field convert, and let's drop this density down so it's not so high res. I guess I did that backwards. Oops. We'll need to, yeah, because this is super high res now. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we also want a match size probably. And we'll set this to min. And we may offset that a little bit, but for now this should be good. Let's just line this back up to where we want. And again, this might be smarter to do inside of, or outside of this context, in like the Solaris context, not inside of a SOP create, just because the things move a little bit faster. But I'm just trying to set things up a little bit for the moment, and then I can always go back and mess with them more later. So let's see. I do need to set up a camera. I'm not sure about the overall scale. I guess my original plan for the blockout, very, very rough blockout that we got over here, was to kind of have cliffs along this whole area, but have a break in there. So I guess it's not the end of the world if we do that. This whole back side as a cliff. If you're just joining us and you're not sure what this little project is about, we are building a environment here. This is called the Lost Facility. It's going to be kind of an ongoing project that I'm sharing pretty much everything that I possibly can on YouTube as well as on my Patreon. We generated some concept art stuff with Midjourney just to kind of throw some ideas out there. So we're just kind of working through some of these kind of general ideas for inspiration, and then we have got a facility that's going to be basically like a biodome type thing that we're going to be putting in our scene here. So it's a little outline of the project there quickly. But let's see, let's go ahead and place these other ones as well. So we'll come back to this 2.5 here. And let's get a let's do the match size after this. So match size, let's do min here, and then we'll fire that in. And also I think this one's gonna be too high. No, I guess not, because that matches the scale that we had before with the canyon. So let's take this transform, just copy it, and that should put it about in the same spot. And same with this one, except for we need this one to be rotated, what, 270? Actually, no, sorry. 180, is it 180? No, that's not gonna be enough, just positive 90. Okay. All right, so let's put a switch in here. So switch. I'm just trying to decide which kind of, what's it called? Oops, that's not. Oh yeah, okay, that did work. Which, what's it called? Terrain type I'm gonna end up thinking fits the environment the best. So we generated a couple different ones in Gaea. So I've got this, but I've also got this canyon, which is based off of the same node setup that I used to actually create the canyon back here. So this canyon, that's the same node setup. So I think that I'm gonna end up rolling with that one, but we'll see kind of how it plays out here. So let's just set up a null here just so we don't have to worry about the outlines there. So I'm not even gonna bother naming this. Let's accept that, and let's copy this. Paste the relative references in there, and then we can just control which input we're on based off of this null. we go. Okay. So we've got that, which that doesn't look too bad. Let's see. I guess that is a little off. It's a little off because of they're split in half. So let's just kind of place them in the right spots. Actually, let's place relative references there. So they place in the same spot. There we go. And that one's a little off now, but that's fine. Whatever. So overall shapes is just kind of what I'm looking at. Let's go ahead and turn off that. And we'll come back. Whoops. Back to that merge. So let's see. I feel like I do like the terrain generated from the canyon better. Yeah, definitely like the canyon terrain better. Just split in half, that's fine. We can blend this into the terrain pretty easily. So I think we'll work with that. So let's take these and let's just kind of delete that out, and we no longer need this switch node either. Let's see, so now, how do I want to do this? Let's go ahead and get rid of this for the moment. I think, so we're going to need a kind of a big long cliff face here. I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did in this little setup with blending the terrains. So let's make a height field node here. And we're going to do this all at the origin here. So let's see, this one is set up. We can always translate this later, so that's fine, or rotate this later. Or actually, let's just do it here. Let's do 90 degrees, yeah. Let's just set it up from the start in the right direction that we want. All right, so let's make this twice as long, and we'll do a height field transform. Let's take this, and we want to offset this. Actually, we don't want to do a full 2000. Let's do 1500, and then in our translate X, I'm gonna move this over by 500. No, let's move it over by 250. Then we're gonna do a height field project. So we'll plug our first height field in into, or this just flat height field in into the first input, and the second one into the second input, so we get this terrain. And actually, 'cause that is like quite a bit, 1000. Let's do 1750. And then we'll move this over by what, 375? Yeah. So we'll have a little bit of overlap. So we'll take, does this have a rotate on it? It does have a rotate. Okay. So we'll take another one of these and we'll rotate this by 180. So we flip it around. We'll do another height field project. And let's set this by, let's do -375 here. And we'll take that initial terrain out, and then we'll do this into the second. And we get that. Let's see, just gonna reference how I did this before. Okay, so we'll do a height field layer now. Yeah, do I wanna do that? Yes, I think so. Do I want to do it this way? I don't know. Let's do it differently, actually. Let's take this one, and then we'll wire this in here, this into the second one, and we'll do a height field draw mask, and we'll blend them together like this. Whoops. All right, so I think we want to do it like this. And then height field mask blur. Set this to 100. And that is not what I wanted to do. So we want to invert that basically. So let's come back in here. Let's get rid of that, and we'll just do that. And I think that'll give us what we want. Nope, I lied. Let's undo that. Come on, keep going. There we go. So if we blend them? No, that's not gonna work. Oh, because I'm at the edge. That's why. Because this is the edge of the train. Okay, so this is just too far over, essentially. So we want, like, maybe that. So I may need to end up dropping it down to 1500 instead of 1750. Actually, nope, that looks good. So now we've essentially just blended those two terrains together, and we've got just one big terrain just blended together, and it doesn't appear to have a seam really. Yeah, should be good. This looks awesome. Love the use of Midjourney. Yeah, I like to use Midjourney in ways that aren't like super like heavily influenced. I like it to use it as like a concept art thing. So it's hard to find like the artists obviously that it was trained off of, and you never know kind of where they're coming from. So try to use it in a way that I don't feel like is super scumbaggy. But this should be pretty good for what we're looking for. And then we can just take this height field stuff that we did down here and bring this back. And that did not work. Why did that not work? Oh, I know. Okay, we have to reset this up. This grouping. So we want the group to be not half that way, but half in the other direction because we rotated. Let's just reset this. So we need this to be, we'll just do 2000. Oops. And that works. And then we want to offset this by 500 that way. There we go. And then we can take that transform and get rid of that rotation, and we should be good. So ultimately, if you guys are new to the project as well, basically we're gonna have, I think, I'm not really sure what all I'm gonna do yet. I don't know whether it's gonna be like try to make it into a short film type thing or what I'm gonna do. But I do think that I'm going to end up doing at least an animation for this. So what I'm imagining is the camera move through this canyon, and then our facility is going to be off over here. So we're going to look off kind of in this direction, and we'll see our facility over there. So we're going to need to extend this out further as well. So we'll need to make this longer. Come on, okay. So I'll need to make this about twice as long. I don't think that this will, I don't think this isn't really seamless, so. Set this to -9, nope, -180 I mean. Yeah, so. Guess that's like the same. Why does that show? Huh. Oops. Weird. That looks way too similar. Okay, definitely not gonna be able to use two of these. So let's just get rid of that then. So I may need a couple of these then. Overall, I think I like that look here. So in the end, what I will end up doing is just to make this a little bit easier to work with it being Solaris and everything, I'm going to split this out into different terrain or different nodes. So we'll have our canyon as one, we'll have this big landscape here as one, we'll also have this kind of terrain, or this kind of back face of a canyon type thing as another node as well. Let's see, so can I don't think I'm going to be able to. I'm going to need to expand this, obviously. Since we come through the canyon, right? All right, so we're coming through the canyon with our camera. So we're not going to see really much over this way, off to the left. We will see more off to the right, just because that's the way that the camera moves. So we'll need another patch of terrain kind of over this way as well. I also am going to need a background, kind of background mountain area, unless I just make this a flat wall all the way across, which I suppose I could do. I feel like this is going to get pretty, well, heavy. Well, maybe not. Like this piece is gonna get pretty heavy. Maybe I'll just make it one large piece. Let's go back to Gaea here, and I'm gonna take all of this, and I'm going to make a second copy. I wish I could cancel this. I guess I could turn down the resolution. Let's undo the whole pasting. Let's turn this resolution down just so it all works a little bit quicker. I like to make copies of things inside of Gaea. That way, instead of just building out variations, that way, if I would like to come back and get a little bit finer control over things, I can. Need to move all these down. There we go. Okay, so let's vary up some of these seeds as well, and then we'll export this again. So let's find another shape of our canyon that we like, but let's set this back to 2K. And if you're wondering, you can do this all inside Houdini if you would like. I just personally don't really like the erosion that Houdini gives you. Just the shapes don't work well in my mind. So I like to use Gaea. It's got the best erosion in my opinion, in terms of all of the different landscape creation suites. I've used World Machine, I've used World Creator, I've got Gaea, obviously Houdini, so I've used quite a few of the different ones. I really, really like a lot of the things that World Machine does, but its erosion is horrible. So had its erosion been any better, I think I would probably use that more. Specifically, the thing that I like a lot, which I've talked about before, is the ability to just walk through the terrain, kind of like an overall look, and just kind of offset and move through it, which you can't do in like anything else, which sucks. But just trying to break up the overall shapes here just a little bit, just get something different, that way nothing looks too familiar. Not that you would really notice it anyway with the large structure changes, but it's good to change up the seeds. Still get something that we like, and overall I think this looks pretty decent. So let's roll with that. Let's come over to our build. See, this one's still marked for export. It's gonna cook through, of course. Come on. There we go. I don't want that as an export. I don't want the texture as an export either. But I do want this. Okay, so let's see. Canyon wall. Let's see, V2, and then, I don't know. Whatever, I don't know, V2. Naming conventions, it's always so difficult. Let's see, let me look at the other one. What did I say before? Yeah, V2. Dude, just call it second section. Sure. And just make sure you're on raw and sRGB, and we shall build that out. Yes, we can save the cached one. And then we can bring this into Houdini. So, field file. We'll go up here, whoops, to, okay, second section. Let's name this Canyon Wall. Canyon Wall. Second section. All right, let's do section 2. All right, so we have this. Okay, so we got this, and then we want to extend this. So let's add another height field. $17.50. So let's do 30, I don't know. Let's just do this by like 3 grand, 3,000. That's still, I feel like that's still not going to be super large. Huh. So we do need quite a bit of canyon here. Let's make it really large. Let's do 5,000. And then we can do some projection stuff here, I think. So height field project. Let's take our initial one. Oh, actually, I need to set this up. So 500. I think that's the right height. And then I want to rotate this. So let's do 90 degrees, and I can wire this in here. I'm not going to want this in the center though. I do know that for sure. So height field transform. Let's move this. How do I want to do this? Let's move this over 750. Do I need to do height field layers for this too? I probably do. Yeah, I do, because I'm going to need the masks. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work too well. Let's see. Yikes. And I just want to see where this is at in the space. All right, so let's do 1250. Maybe 1,000. Oops, 1,000. So I'm gonna need a really large stretch here. All right, so a height field, draw mask. And then, oh God. Is it here that I want to draw? No, it's this way, isn't it? Oops. This ain't working very well. I guess it doesn't really matter, I just want this portion. Jesus Christ, why am I getting this error? There we go. And I don't want to blend, but I want to replace. And I want to height field blend, or blur. Oops. HF mask blur. And I don't feel like redrawing this a million times. Let's just take this and let's set this to expand. There we go. That way I don't have to keep drawing it. I can just get it in the general right area. Okay. So that doesn't look too bad. Let's do this with another one. So let's take a height field project and a height field transform. And then let's transform this in the opposite direction. So negative 1000. And I'm going to do literally the same thing here. Oh, wait a minute. Shoot. I need this into there. And then this into the second. And I need a HF draw mask to here. Getting some fun errors there. What is going on? Okay. There we go. All right, so let's draw out this mask. And I didn't go far enough. I just want to do this all in one. There we go. And we can do a height field mask blur here as well. Set this to 100. And now we've got quite a bit of our terrain here. So I am only going to use half of this. So I'm going to take our original height field. I'm going to do the exact same thing, but I'm going to transform it by rotating it 180, or just 180, whatever. Oops. And I'm going to move this over even more. So what, 1500? Let's do 1750. Ugh. Sure. And then we need another height field layer. Nope, wrong input. Second input on that. First input over here. Height field, draw mask. Wire this in. Take a peek. And we shall draw out our mask. And then I can just make another copy of this, blur it out. Let's take this field mask blur, and then we can just expand that so I don't have to keep, again, don't have to keep drawing that line. Ooh. Oh, is this because of the offset? Oh, this is because of the... Right. Well, is it 200? No, yeah. Did I draw this too close to the edge? Yeah, I think these two are just too close together. Yeah, that gives me a weird artifact that I don't like. Dang it, I was hoping to not have to do this so many times. I'll just set this to 1500. Okay. There we go. 1500, and then we can get rid of that, I think. Nope. Mask. You have to redraw this now. Oh well. We'll redraw that real quick. Let's do it with this visualized. There we go. And we got the whole thing now. Now we got our edge, and then we have the other as well. And this may be different enough now that we can actually use both sides. But let's just do that other side real quick as well. So another height field transform here. This time we're going to go positive 1500. Height field project. And we're just layering this all together. So we'll do another height field layer. Oops, we went to second input again. Don't forget that. First input, so this one's gonna be over here. Height field draw mask. Let's wire this in, and we can draw this out. May run into this error. May have to. Well, that didn't do it. I wonder why that's doing that. I don't like that. I feel like it's going to create issues. Dang it. Maybe I just need to make this super big. Nope. It's already doing it. Why are you being difficult? I should have just stuck with what I had earlier. Let's try it like this. Alright, I'm just gonna have to do it in multiple projections. It's not as clean, but whatever. It works. So let's do height field mask blur again. Get to 100. Now we need to, whoops. Expand this. There we go. And I'm gonna call that good. Let's go ahead and take this original height field and let's shrink this down to what, 4,000? Is that what we ended up being? Yeah, I think maybe 4250. No, I think we lost 250 on each side, but let's just take a look. Yeah, so we're at 4 grand. So now we've just got this giant piece of geometry that we've made a lot, probably more difficult than we needed to, but whatever. So we'll take this, move this up here. Let's go ahead and just organize this out a little bit. Oops. Sorry, hopefully I didn't just make a ton of noise in the mic. Accidentally hit it. So we've got this. Let's see. We need to adjust this once again. So let's do 4,000. And it's still, yeah, it's still 1,000 wide, so we should be all good there. And then we can also do this. Now, I think they're different enough that it won't matter. Let's put that around and whoops. So now if we need more terrain, we've got it. All right, so let's imagine our little fly through here. I haven't got my camera set up. I definitely need to do that. So let's see. Oops. I don't think we'll. Yeah, okay. We're not going to end up needing that much. But that is fine. So now we just need to create another little ground plane here. We also are going to need to blend this in. So let's go ahead and just take care of that. This match size, let's offset this by like negative, I don't know what, 10? Is that enough to set it below? Let's do negative 30. Oh, that's too much, for sure. No, I guess negative 10 was enough. Alright, so let's take this and just slide this over. So we're in the mountain a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, and now we've got this line between the two. And again, I may end up needing to do something different as far as this goes, just as far as texturing and everything goes. We'll see how the textures all blend together in the end. I may, as long as they're one object. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. So we need, again, another one of these. Do I want to just make a copy of it? So this one's 2000 by 2000. Well, let's, oh, and I needed to fix this too. My sand dunes are going different directions. It's kind of hard to tell. I got from this. It's pretty evident from a render if you're in the right spot. Let's go back into this and just look at it. It's gonna be hard to tell without doing a render, and I don't want to do a render because it will probably lag the stream out here. But let's take, I think I just rotated some of these, so I've got no rotation there. I can't do negative 90, but can I do 180? Which one is this? Okay, so let's get rid of that. Okay, 180 should be fine. Maybe it's not. Alright, let's just get rid of all the rotations. I was trying to do that just to add a little bit of variation. but I don't think it's going to matter in the end. Yeah, you can't even tell that these terrains are a bunch of the same. I may need more of them though. Actually, you know, it's probably not going to matter again, just because you're not going to see it. Like, you're going to see the very edge of this, I think. Because we're going to place our facility somewhere in here, so we shouldn't see too much of that terrain at all. Yeah. So I'm not going to worry about that. Let's just make a copy of this, essentially. So let's take this, and we're going to do some more high field projections. All right, so HF. All right, so high field, this one we want to be 4,000 by 2,000. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So height field project. And actually, we don't even want it that much. Let's do 3,500. So base train there, height field there. Let's do HF transform. And let's do -1,000. Or actually, is it -1,000? Let's see, this one's 4,000 by 500. 750. Is that right? Yeah, 750. Okay. So we want that little bit of overlap in the middle. So then we want to do a second height field project. We want this one to be positive 750. We just want the same thing here. And we want a height field layer. So base terrain doesn't matter too much. Secondary terrain, and then just draw mask. And hopefully we can do this without getting errors. Oops. Is it this side? It is this side. Okay, let's do that again. So boom. High field mask blurb. Set this to 100. And then bam, we've got an extra large terrain that's just tiled a little bit, essentially. Not really going to be able to tell in the final look. So let's clean this up once again. So we'll take these nodes, bring them over, and then wire this in here. All right, let's take a look at the final thing. I am gonna have to do a transform. Yeah, so this transform, I have to move this over in the X by 750. That'll be fine. And now we should be pretty much set up. Yeah, that is looking good. So overall look at our terrain here. Again, we're not going to be seeing the tops of any of this terrain, so it's not really going to matter. Try to keep the kind of only what's in the camera visible as far as what you actually make. So we've got our terrains. Let's go ahead. I don't know. Yeah, that looks, I think that'll look okay. And we'll place our facility in here somewhere. And then, so as far as our facility goes, I've got a bunch of things. These up here were stable diffusion. This is kind of where the original concept came from. If you guys don't know the backstory of how this kind of idea came to be, I was originally planning on doing a video of like using ChatGPT to come up with ideas and stuff, on just sending those in through like stable diffusion. So I asked it to give me a few prompts, and I got one that I thought was pretty cool concept. And these were some of the original images that were spit out from stable diffusion. And this was a while back. And then I plugged the prompt somewhat into Midjourney. I kind of changed it a little bit, and I got some things that I like. So just like a biodome facility essentially is what we're looking at as far as putting into our environment here. I like some of the things from a lot of these images. I really like the multiple compounds, but I don't think I'm going to end up doing that. I like kind of the window shapes and the overall texture of this, that it's kind of gritty. It's not super shiny like, you know, some of these are. So I think I will run with a more of a grittier texture. I like some of the structures around the compound here, but I really like this aura is cool. Like this time of day, pretty cool. And then I like the shape of this building quite a bit, as well as this one and this one as well. So actually kind of like all 6 of these are all pretty good. But yeah, that's kind of how this all came to be. I am pretty tired though. I think I'm gonna kind of end stream here. I didn't end up getting time to make a video this week, over this last week, a little devlog, just because different things going on in life. Is my fiance's birthday, and we were dealing with that. So was out of town for a little bit, and between that and work and everything, just didn't have time to make a devlog here. But figured I would hop on stream and work on things a little bit, because I didn't get to work on anything really across the last week. I feel like we made quite a bit of progress here as well. So I'm going to save all of this, and then we shall, I'll just, nah. I'll throw this up next week probably, as far as the Patreon goes. So if you guys aren't subscribed to my Patreon, and you want to get any of these project files, so that includes the Houdini project files, as well as the Gaea ones, as well as the textures and everything that are output. So you get all of these terrains. So you'll get this terrain. This is actually a couple of terrains. So we got one over here. We got a second one that we're blending into, as well as this ground is made up of a couple of different ones. And then obviously we made the canyon here. So we've got a couple of different canyons that we've made, or like canyon walls that we've made to make this all together. So if you want to get any of those project files or any of those textures to use in your projects, you're free to use them in whatever you want. So you don't have to worry about, copyright on any of that or whatever. So You can download that all from Patreon if you're interested, as well as make sure you take a look at the other devlogs that we've done on this project. The outline, the original video, which was the outline, is pretty interesting, as well as we went over a method for creating some higher detail noise on the high field stretching. So like these areas that are super vertical don't necessarily look the best. So I went over a way that you can kind of get around that inside Houdini, which is super interesting. So if you haven't seen those videos, make sure to check those out. But anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Make sure you guys subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Thank you from CG Record for sharing this on their Facebook. It's appreciate that a lot. So like I said, make sure to take a look at the other videos in this little devlog series that I've got going on, and maybe you'll learn some stuff. But anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will maybe stream later in the week if I've got some time. Otherwise, I'll plan on seeing you guys on Tuesday next week. So not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, to go over the progress I made across the week. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, and we'll see you then.